afternoon everyone, welcome back to another round of HTA ELITES. We are here in the streets of Azerbaijan for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku. I'm not alone today, I'm once again joined by Wilson, also known as CRG Sparks.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Sadly the turnout isn't exactly amazing, but I'm sure that a show will be put on.
Well, we're looking for an exciting race today, a very unpredictable track, one of the longest on the calendar. We're looking just under 1 minute 40, well a little bit more on just under 1 minute 40 for qualifying time. Blocks is the first driver out. He's currently on a set of mediums, which everyone else has opted for the softs. So do you think he's gonna run a different strategy from these guys?
I mean, I don't know the weather strategy right now. I've just been told though, Gamer said it's a wet race at the start, so maybe what I've heard is a harder tyre can usually be more durable, if you know what I mean. So if they're starting on dry tyres on a slick track, that's going to destroy the softs. So maybe he's taking a gamble and thinking, alright, maybe I can take these mediums and I can stretch them out a bit longer and then take the hards to the end. But we no clue, because safety cars could come out, but I won't be surprised if we see him going in the softs. Quite an unusual strategy from him, but we just have to wait and see.
Well, he is currently just about to activate DRS and he is going to be the first one to start his lap. Only 12 drivers have turned up today, so it's not too good. I think there's Cohen, the only driver in the pits, is now heading down into turn number 1, going down into third, short shifting up to fourth. The Williams of Liquid Blocks, who is so far impressed in his HTA debut. Unfortunately, I believe a DNF last race, despite being so high up on the grid. But he's really proved himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done really well. He's only been off assists for a month or two maybe, and he's showing he has the 1 lap pace. It's just that consistency that everyone struggles with. And coming to Baku, it's probably one of the hardest tracks on this whole game to learn without line. There's very difficult braking points. It's never either just after 100 or just before. It's either in between, or it's a very confusing track. And the Lickle goes off, so that's just showing and proving my point how difficult it is. Let's hope no cars are behind him, but yeah, that proved my point. It's a very difficult track to learn.
Absolutely, it's arguably the most difficult track on the F1 calendar, and luckily for Lickle Blocks there was no one close behind him. He had a pretty big gap to the man in second place in the championship, Vasta Racer. He said he couldn't race, but he's turned up. If the race goes on too long, he might not be able to finish the race, so that could keep the championship alive for you. Of course, if he wins today, he will pip you by 1 point. Of course, we still have 2 rounds after this one.
Yeah, well, let's hope he's not going to win. That's for me at least. If anybody out there is supporting him, I'm not going to tell you not to, but obviously I'm not supporting him because he's a title rival. But he's going to come across the line, opens the DRS, it's up to 215 to 210 miles an hour. What's it going to be? It's a 37.4, which isn't the most impressive lap. I know Vassar can go a lot quicker here. He's done a 36.2 in the PSL event without slip, so he's very speedy around here, but not a bad banker at all, considering the track conditions might be a bit off.
Well, of course, in the early sessions they've not laid down the rubber quite so much, as now Gil takes over provisional pole. He's making his debut in the Ferrari, currently on a 137.3. I don't know where the 131 came from. There's now CC Brain, another driver who's making his first start this season in the Red Bull. Do you think these two can get within the top 5 today?
Well, I know I have a feeling Gil will definitely have a chance. I've seen a bit of him. CC Brain, I've literally no clue about him. I don't know how quick he is, if he uses assists off in all his other leagues. But we just have to wait and see. It's a bit of a gamble. He's sitting 6th right now, which is 50% through the grid, as we only have 12. But we'll have to wait and see. A 38.3, it's not the craziest time, but I'm sure he'll be able to build upon that, and obviously we don't know how much practice he's had, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, especially Gil. He's always impressed in other leagues. He raced in PSL F1, so It's not like he's exactly a slow driver. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Absolutely, I've been watching Gil in other leagues, and he's been pretty consistent. He's actually leading it. I think he's won a championship just yesterday, so he must be riding high right now on momentum, and he can maybe carry that forward today. He currently sits top of the table right now. One driver who hasn't put in a lap is just coming onto the start finish straight. It's Cohen, who I don't think he got any points last race, unfortunately, even though there was about 12 finishers.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. We had a very good turnout last race compared to this one, but not a lot of people finished. It was a hectic race around what a track usually brings up a boring race. As Messina, I think that was, just goes 4th. Yeah, or no, not Messina. Cohen? Was that Cohen? I think it was Cohen. Yeah. He goes 5th then, with a 37.8. Times aren't looking that quick. I wonder if a few people might be tweaking their setup for the rain, because I don't know if it's heavy rain or light rain. We don't know if it's going to be rain with slicks. It's going to be very chaotic if it's a full wet race, and I can see if it is a full wet race, that race at least lasting till halfway through.
Well, that certainly could be an explanation. Wet setups are a lot different to dry setups. They're completely tuned for different conditions, so in the dry weather you're going to be slower than you would be in the wet, and it's going to be interesting to see once we get into the race who's running a dry setup, because they're going to be a lot slower than the guys who might be on a wet setup. As two drivers yet to set lap, it is Forbes, who's just starting his lap. He's joined Fire Void Academy. Do you think he can finally get the podium today?
You know what, I was sitting in a practice session with him about half an hour, 20 minutes ago, because I just came on there, and it seems to be he's struggling with turn 15, the downhill left-hander. He done a lap but when he got to there he always crashed, it seemed, or he crashed at Castle before he got there, so I don't know if it'll be his race. Obviously it isn't pad and it is a wet race. He's really put this sector 1 together quite nicely from the looks of it, not bad from him, but we'll see. Will he be able to impress his boss at FVA? We don't know. Obviously he's in the academy, that's why he'll be 8 at the end of it, so I'm sure he'll be wanting to impress and get promoted to that top team.
Well, he's coming through the castle section and he's hit the wall, so the commentator's curse. He's going to have to return to the pit lane. Oh, Caden. So that's his lap effectively over. He's got pretty severe wing damage. He's missing half of his front wing, really. So he's going to want to retire and bring that back into the pits. He's going to have another attempt, but he's just unlucky that we were watching him in that instance.
Yeah, Caden, just doing Caden things really, not being able to put the lap together. I know it's a difficult track, but no excuses. We've seen Louis do some insane times around here and he's in a pad, but yeah, I was not surprised to see him hit that wall there. Looking who's starting lap, Vassar Racer starting laps, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He most likely is the favourite for pole today, as seen his immense pace. I don't think he's done much practice though, he just came on pretty much. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Little does, and Vaster, and most importantly Gil, because I want to see him impress. But yeah, Vaster is looking like the favourite for pole for me.
Well, currently he's just sitting 2/100ths of a second behind the pole time currently. He's just gone just under 1.5 tenths quicker than in the first sector, so he's looking strong right now. We're going to follow along with him for the rest of his lap, coming now through, I don't actually know what the corner numbers are, through the castle section. I know that for sure, as he actually kept that pretty nice and neat there. Through this fast left-hander now, using up all the ERS he can. He's got half of it deployable to him. Can he nail this corner? It's a very tough corner to get right, and I think he's done that pretty well, to be honest. We've got 5 viewers in the stream. If you're watching, say hello. He's 2 tenths up right now. This could be provisional pole for Vasta Racer.
Yeah, this could be pole. He's 2 tenths up. The person ahead of him is just under 2 thousandths ahead. So if he keeps this together, and I don't really think there's much ways of bottling it now, he's on a straight, unless something goes catastrophically wrong. I don't even know if I said that right. But he comes across the line and he takes provisional pole with a 1:37 dead, and I think he may be running a bit of a two setup from what I saw in PSL. He struggles with tyre wear around here, so if he's not, he's running a very aggressive setup as usual, which will not fare well in the wet, but we'll have to see. I don't know if this is Gamer coming across the line. He's got it in overtake. Let's see where he's going to put that car. He comes up to the line, and that's just behind Baster, about half a tenth behind. Nathan, very close. Wow, good luck from Nathan, showing what he can do.
5/100ths down on Vasta. I'm not too sure where Nathan is in the standings, but he's had his moments, but he's mostly been in and around the low end of the points, but he's still he's showing his worth today. He's currently in second, ahead of someone who's actually entered the championship fray pretty late on. It's Gamer, as Ewan Vasta didn't race last weekend. He's had 2 in a row. He could make it 3 and really get involved in the championship. I think he's 30 points back from you at the moment.
Yeah, he is, and I don't like saying that. Hopefully I can be back next week to put his head back in the floor and win again. But yeah, it'll be quite annoying to watch Vaster or Gamer win. It would be quite satisfying to watch them crash, as there's yellow flags. Is that Lickle? I saw a bit of wing at Castle. I don't know if does he have wing damage? Yeah, he's lost his right front end plate. I don't know if he was on a out lap or a lap. I think he was on a lap as Louis joins. Well, Louis here and it's wet, so I think you know what that means.
Well, so Lickle blocks his. I think he was on a lap there, and now he's not going to be able to even put one in. But Louis is going to be able to tune his setup to perfection. As now Cohen has retired through the fast left-hander just before turn 18, so he's out of the session. He's in 8th right now. Tough luck for the Dutch driver, as I'm trying to see if anyone's finishing a lap.
CC Brain. Oh, actually, no, never mind. I think everybody's coming in, unless... Yeah, everybody's coming in then going out for their final runs, unless Messina... No, yeah, everybody's coming in.
Well, we've got a little bit of a dead phase just coming up, as everyone's going to be preparing for their last run, so I might as well ask you now before I forget, what do you think the podium is going to be today?
Oh. See, I want to say Gamer is going to win, but I do not want to say it. I really hope he doesn't. This is going to sound crazy. I think Messina's going to win, Gill's going to get second, and Lickle's going to get third.
It's an interesting podium. Neither of your championship rivals involved in that podium there.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, I think that it's going to be... I think it's going to be Furhan to get the win today. I don't know why, I just feel it.
Well, he isn't bad, and it is a wet race.
Yeah. Then I think... I want to go someone out of the box here. I'll go... You know what, I'll go with Gamer to take P2. And I'm not going to say Caden's going to get on the podium. I'm going to say that Lonnie's going to get on the podium.
Yeah, well, it would be nice to see Lonnie get on the podium. He's been here for quite a while. I don't think he's... Is he at the podium before?
I believe so, in the first race.
Did he? Yeah, oh yeah, he did. That was the one I won, wasn't it?
Yeah. Back in Bahrain, we've had...
Yeah.
The league's come a long way. We've seen some new faces enter the league, like Yost and Lickle and CC Brain. So the league's really evolved since then. We've had drivers come and go, but we have 12 drivers remaining today. Of course, a lot of drivers, they're not leaving just because... Well, they're not leaving, but they're not turning up just because they can't be bothered. They do have reasons, so it's not really a problem with disloyalty, is it?
No, I mean, the attendance all season's been immaculate. The lowest turnout we had before this was 16, so it's been really good. I think it's just such a nice day outside, and I think a few people may be being a bit cheeky, if I'm going to be honest, but you know, it's come to the end of the game, everybody's losing a bit of motivation. If we're going to go off topic a bit here though, can I just say how nice Loney's helmet is?
he's got the golden... It looks like a gold chrome there. Look, that does look very nice.
Yeah, well, it's a favourite of mine, that's for sure. This is everybody starting their final laps. Vaster's on provisional pole. I wonder if anybody will be able to take it away from them. A few people are starting. I know Vaster was starting a lap when I looked. Yeah, Vaster's starting a lap. Is Messina on it? No, he's not. But this will be the most intense part for the drivers. Most drivers have started a lap. Roney is very close to Yost, so I wonder if he'll get... He might be able to get a small toe off him here. I've got the red glitch with everyone, which is quite annoying. But Kane starts his lap. I wonder if he'll be able to do anything without crashing. But this is going to be exciting.
Well, I'll make sure to pay attention to him when he's coming through the castle section. But right now, Yost is the first person to start his final lap. We're coming to the point where if you're on a lap, you can't... if you haven't started a lap, you're only going to get one more attempt. Some of these guys like Yost and Lonnie are maybe going to be able to squeeze out 2 laps. I don't know if that's the smartest call, but it's a possibility to them, as through the castle section it was pretty clean from Yost there. He's got Lonnie very close behind him, but he seems to have kept out of his way, and he hasn't troubled Yost at all, so he's not ruining his lap there. He almost cuts the corner entirely, so definitely Lonnie's going to be able to get a very nice slipstream. He's actually 5/10 up on this lap, and the field is pretty close right now. And with this added toe, he could see himself maybe on the front row of the grid. We're going to come around the final couple of corners. It's Yost to finish his lap first, and we'll just quickly switch back to Lonnie once he finishes it. What's Yost going to set for his final attempt? He's going to go quickest right now. What about Lonnie? Only 7th.
What's Vaster going to do though? He's going to come up to the line and he's going to retake pole with a 36.7. Good lap from Vaster. Is that Gill coming up to the line? No, Gill's in the pits. I think the next person coming up to the line is a McLaren. He's starting a lap. He's about to start a lap. But that means the next one coming up to the line is Forbes. What will he be able to do? He's had a tough couple of last few races. He's going to come up to the line, 210 miles an hour. He crosses the line, and it's P5 for Forbes. Not yet, it might be able to change, but good lap from Forbes.
He's not too far off of Vasta Racer. He's about 4/10 off from 1st to 5th. So, again, the field spread is pretty close. I think did Furhan manage to get onto his lap?
Gamer's going to come into the lane, and he's not too far.
I'm not getting the flags for people, so I don't know who's finished the lap or who's still on one. As a Gamer's
on a lap.
Alright, well...
So is CC Brain, they're both coming up to the line.
Okay, well, I'll go on board with CC Brain right now on his debut for this season. At least I don't know about any other past performances in HTA Elites, as he cannot improve there. As Rakim Azino goes into 5th place, he displaces Forbes, who's found himself now down in 6th, but I don't know if anyone else is going to be able to complete a lap here. No, they're not. I think Furhan actually is.
Yeah, Furhan. I wonder if he can get himself up there and then it's a wet race. He's really good, and I think he's going to get a toll. Is that invalid?
Yeah, he's invalidated it on my screen.
He was getting a toll from Lonnie as well. We'll see what it could have been, because I'm sure he wanted to see what it could have been. This might have been pole. I don't know. I might just be overestimating him. Let's see what it is. This toe is very, very effective. He's on low ERS, however. He gets the toe, and it would have been 37.4, so not much of a change, if we're going to be honest. But nevertheless, it would have been a change. But this is going to be an exciting race. Well done to Caden, starting 6th, and it's a wet race, so we may, and I don't want to be over-optimistic, but Caden may get a podium.
Well, unfortunately, that is actually a possibility, and the 1 week that I don't predict him getting on the podium, he might score a podium, which is, well, I don't know what to think about that, as now Jordan's joining, so we've got 14 drivers, so actually the turnout isn't as terrible as we'd expected it to be. I was thinking maybe like 10 people, but 14's pretty decent, as this looks to be the starting grid for the race. I don't think anyone else is on a lap. And there we go, Gamer retires, and we have completed the first part of the race weekend today.
Yeah, good from all the drivers. They kept it clean, which isn't too hard to do in qualifying, but didn't see much crashes apart from Caden and Lickle from what I've seen. But it looks like Vaster's on pole, then it goes just Gamer, Nathan in 4th, Messina in 5th, Forbes in 6th, Gill in 7th, Loney in 8th, Ferran Racer in 9th, Lickle in 10th, CC Brain in 11th, and Cohen in 12th, and then I'm pretty sure a few joined mid-session. I know Louis did. I don't know if anybody else did.
Well, the gap between Juiced and Gamer is 1,000th of a second, and it's the difference between a front row start and a second row start. But Vasta Racer looked to be on control. He was almost 2/10 ahead of the nearest driver, so he's definitely one who's most likely to win based on that qualifying performance. But I love it when the gaps get so close between drivers, when it's 1,000th of a second. And here it is, the rainy Baku. It's going to definitely play on some trouble. We haven't got a formation lap, as someone had forgotten to put it on.
Definitely not me.
Well, so we're going to get in very soon. Drivers are going to be adjusting whatever strategies they have and their wings and bias and whatnot, if they're going to be doing any of that. I don't know too much about setups, so don't bully me, I guess. But it's going to be interesting to see who was running a wet setup in qualifying and who was running a dry setup.
Yeah, this is going to be good. I'll let you take over before we start, because I can't be taking the main comms role, because I don't think that'd go too well. However, it doesn't look insanely heavy. I think it'll be intermediate. Sorry if not, it slicks in a wet track, which is going to be chaos, but I'll let you take it away.
Well, it looks certainly rainy enough for the intermediates, as now, here we go, the lights are on, and we are underway in Baku. It is Vasta Racer looking to get a pretty decent start, but I think Juice has actually got the best start. He's going to go look to the inside. Vasta's holding him around the outside, going off track. There's a lot of swapping of positions further back in the pack, as now Just comes up the inside. He takes the lead from Vasta Racer on lap 1 at turn 2, as looks like everyone got through pretty cleanly, but they're all...
Sorry to butt in, but Forbes has got into 4th. He's one space behind the podium. Can you believe it?
Quite frankly, I cannot believe it, as we will see the detail is tyres. Everyone is on the intermediates as we complete the first sector just about. There's a little bit of scrapping going on behind. It looks like Rakim Azin has been spun around by, I think that was Lickle Blocks, and he has lost his front wing. And I'm glad I caught that, as Louis is up into 11th already off the start. Cohen's dropped into 12th. We look further back up the pack. Forbes following behind CRG Gamer. One day Forbes will be in CRG, mark my words, as through the castle section, one of the toughest parts of the track. Easy to get it wrong. I think everyone got through there pretty cleanly. We're going to go on board with Louis Welch. He's just looking outside of the points. He hasn't made a start this season. He is one to watch out for. Going to make a charge through the pack this race in 11th, but I think he could be in the top 5 by the end of it.
Yeah, Louis, we know he's a very impressive driver with assists, so it'd be nice to see him do something without it. As I mentioned in qualifying, Vasta's running a very aggressive setup, and he looks like he's struggling a lot. He's twitchy, he's making a bit of lock-ups, and he just does not look confident at all. So I think Vasta, I wouldn't be surprised if he can't get a podium here, because everybody else just looks so much more comfortable than him.
Well, it definitely looks like he was running the dry setup. He's almost being bump drafted by CRG Gamer. You're hoping for a big accident here, but no, I am not, as now down the inside goes CRG Gamer. That was an easy move on Vasta Racer. If Gamer wins, he can be within, what is it, 12 points?
12, yeah.
Of the championship leader, and that is a really big feat from him, considering his start to the season was so poor. He had no podiums. He was in 14th.
Oh,
at one point.
Sorry to butt in again, but Cadence went down the inside of Vasta, so we're going to go side by side. I do not know what corner number that says. And Caden, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's in a podium position.
I think I just saw a little bit of wing being chopped off of someone's car there. I think it might have been Loney's. He's struggling right now, and he's losing out a little bit. I think it's his front right end plate.
It looks to be. I just went on TV cam there, and he doesn't have one. The same with is that the Ferrari behind him? I don't think the Ferrari has end plate either, from what I can see. No, the Ferrari doesn't have end plate either.
So it'd be wise for them to come into the pits. You can actually see on the onboard cameras there's a little bit of sunshine breaking through the clouds. You can see just a little bit of green, blue skies now as yellow flags in sector 2. I don't know who that's for. It might be for Cohen as now Gil gets past Loney into turn 18. This could be bad as they make a little bit of contact. Gil sliding through the corner, but luckily he holds on to it. He remains in 6th position. Loney getting away from him just a little bit now, as I think Nathan's had an incident. No, he's just lost out to Liquor Blocks, but there seems to be someone struggling a lot. I think it's Rakim Azina, the man you predicted to win this race, is down in 13th.
Yeah, he's not doing me proud. I predicted him to win, and I think it's looking like Gamer has the pace to win, which is really annoying. I really hope he doesn't, so let's pray that Gamer crashes.
Well, this could be his 3rd win in a row, which is going to definitely cement him in the championship challenge, as Louis comes into the pits early. I don't know, I think he might have gotten damaged, so unfortunate for him, as now Gamer moves into the lead of the Grand Prix. Racing Point, I just want to mention, are having a really good day right now. They're in 2nd and 3rd. Yes, Caden Forbes is in 3rd position. I don't even know if I want him in for interviews though, because of what happened last week. There seems to be battling going on further behind. Furhan Racer making his way up into 5th position, getting past Loney as Liquor Blocks almost going into the wall there. So big scrap stemming back from Nathan. Look at them, 5 cars all involved here, as now Wilson has left the session. I think he's lagged out.
Yeah, I think I need an invite.
I can't invite you, but I think... No, I don't know what's going to happen here. I can't invite you. Maybe if you go onto someone's profile, you can find a way back in.
Try.
Well, whilst you're out of action, I'll just continue the commentary stream. It's Furhan Racer's gotten away from this gaggle of cars so Loney, with that wing damage, really holding up this train of 4 cars through the fast left-hander. This is where his lack of downforce is going to be evident into turn 18. Can Liquor Blocks get the move done? He's not going to make an attempt there. As now Loney goes a little bit into the wall. He might have chipped off a little bit more of his front wing. He loses out to Gil and Liquor Blocks, who moves up into 6th. And for someone who's pretty inexperienced with no assists, he's doing very well for himself. And looks like the gaps have really evened out at the front. I'm surprised we haven't had any DNFs yet, as now the virtual safety car is out. That might be for Loney. I have no clue what's happening. Nathan's gone into the wall. There might have been a little bit of contact with them. Loney's actually gotten a 5-second time penalty for colliding with the Mercedes driver. So disaster strikes on lap number 4. No safety car yet, so the field is going to remain spread out. And it looks like there's blue skies further ahead, as actually Gil's come in to fit the medium tyres. I don't know if he intended to do that, but he's going onto a set of slick tyres. He might have messed up there as Loney serves his 5-second stop-go penalty. Gil might have messed up his race. He's now on a set of slick tyres and the track is still unbelievably wet. He's struggling for grip completely. He can't get his foot down at all. He's going to lose out to his Ferrari teammate so easily right now. He's just going to let him by. And what a cock-up from the Frenchman there. He was on for a really good result, proving his pace in the qualifying. He was in a good position. I actually will just put on the positions gained, because that will be interesting to see who's made up the most positions. Well, Furhan Racer, Liquor Blocks and CC Brain moving up 4 positions, but it's Louis Welch moving from 13th all the way up into 8th. He is the biggest mover right now. And then another driver who's made up good positions, Caden Forbes, in 3rd position. Looks like the commentator's curse is really worn off, I guess, as we'll go back onto the tyre. It's definitely getting drier out there though. The rain has pretty much almost ceased, but we still remain in the intermediate conditions. I think Juiced is getting closer and closer to the race leader right now, CRG Gamer. This will help Sparks' championship hopes, because if Vasta Race has actually moved past Caden Forbes, and in these drier conditions is now Caden Forbes going to try it back down the inside. Vasta Race has lost a bit of his front wing there. Caden Forbes, yes. And yeah, Vasta Race is missing an end plate. He hit the wall after Caden Forbes tried to go up his inside to maintain P3, and now the Renault, one of the championship rivals, championship contenders could be on for a disastrous day, and this could really spice up the championship as Louis Welch sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. There's more yellow flags. I think that is Gil losing it on his slick tyres. He's going to probably come into the pits, but it looks like the rain is completely stopped, so there's no point really in retiring, as now Loney is out of the Grand Prix. I don't quite know where he's retired there. Virtual safety car is out. Nathan skids into the wall. He loses a bit of his front wing. These drivers are really going to start to feel the effects of these tyres wearing out, and the track is going to begin to dry up, so we could see Vasta Racer come back into play here. He's currently in 4th place behind Caden Forbes. He's got wing damage, so he's going to have to spend a little bit of time repairing that in the pit lane. But right now, the current situation with the positions, it's CRG Gamer out in front, on for 3 wins in a row. Used, who I believe had a pretty good day out last time in France. He currently sits in 2nd. Caden Forbes on for his 1st podium, as now the virtual safety car goes away. We are back under green flag racing.
I don't get someone to invite me.
I can't do it because oh right. Oh, he's gonna get someone to invite him. Okay, I will just. I think he'll be able to rejoin the party anyways, so we will just continue on without him. Furhan Racer is going to be able to get past Vasta Racer pretty easily, as now Liquor Blocks could maybe try and make it 3 wide. Coming into turn number 1, Vasta Racer is not going to pit. This could be a big move for Liquor Blocks. If he can get down the middle of these drivers, he's going to back out and slip behind Furhan Racer. Vasta Racer losing out. He is now in 3rd position, 5th position, as Caden Forbes is coming to the pits. He's fitting on a set of hard tyres to go to the end. He's also repairing a bit of front wing there, is the young English driver, so he has definitely suffered damage somewhere, as finally Wilson is back in the session, so just hopefully I'll invite him back to the party. Oh, he joined back anyway, so welcome back. As you can see, someone's gambled. It's Caden coming on to a set of hard tyres. You can see the rain is completely stopped now, but there's still a lot of standing water on the track. Could this be a mistake, or could it be genius from Caden?
Right, well, I was in the party there with Kane telling him to invite me, and he made it pretty prominent that he had wing damage.
Yes,
so I don't know if he repaired it did he repair it in the pits?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just looked at him there and he's sliding all over the place. I think it's a bit early. I think this lap would be the lap, if anything, from what it looks like. It looks way too early. It has just hit the wall almost end plate. I'm just saying, gamers won this, and it's so depressing to watch.
Well, he's got a gap of 6 seconds now. Two Juice has had a nightmare run. He's seeming to struggle in this transition period. He looked strong in the wet, but Furhan Racer, who I predicted to win this Grand Prix, now sits in 3rd position. As is anyone going to pit? Well, I think Juice is definitely going to come to the pits. He might try and go for an early slick run, as it yellow flags in sector 1. Who could that be?
It's not Gamer.
I have no clue who it is. It might, yeah, it has to be him. He's the only other driver who's not in the fight for the. Oh, it could be Cohen as well, who's getting lapped on lap 7. So unfortunate for him. Hard tyres coming out for Juice, is now Louis once again setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's showing his pace, but he's eventually going to have to come back in to the pit lane. Well, did he pit? Yeah, he's definitely pitted. He's going to have to come into the pit lane to fit a set of dry tyres, as now he makes a switchback move on IGK. So that was a very good move from the English driver.
Yeah, good move from him. I'm just going on board with the Gamer for this last half lap, you could say. And they try. You could say it's somewhat nearly ready for dries, but it still looks like it's not hot enough for dries. As you see, Gil's still setting quick laps in the intermediates. The intermediates may be overheating at this point, but there's still spray coming off them. And when there's no spray, that's usually time to pit. But if it's not this lap, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the next lap, and they're going to either pit for hards or mediums.
Well, another good way to tell when it's time to pit is when the race control enables DRS, because that is a good indicator that the track is dry enough to come to the pits and fit a set of dry tyres, as Littleblocks currently sitting in third position. He hits the wall trying to chase down Furhan Racer. It looks like these drivers are really beginning to struggle. You can actually see a dry line starting to form on track. Can Littleblocks send one down the inside into turn number 1? He's gaining, he's going to look to the left hand side of the McLaren. He's not going to make a move stick. Maybe on exit he gets a much better run through the corner, side by side into turn number 2. Littleblocks down the inside, and he's going to make the move stick, it looks like. Yes, he is. So onto the straight. Furhan Racer in third. Second for Lickle is now Cohen has retired in the pit lane. Unfortunate for him, he was lapped, and that is 2 retirements now.
Yeah,
oh, Lickle's almost spun. Ooh, sorry to butt in there, but Lickle almost spun the car there. Looks like it is the crossover point now, but still spray coming off those tyres.
Oh, is that, did you just retire in the pits?
Yeah, he did. I don't know what he was doing.
Right, interesting to say the least. That means there's only going to be one person, if all the drivers finish the race, that does not score points, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why he's tired. If we go back to Lickle's wee moment there, it's not a hard thing to do. There's yellow flags popping up everywhere, and it's really distracting.
I'm not too sure where that is, but surely they have to come to the pits sooner.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the pit point, and yeah, DRS is enabled. Unless Gamer cocks this up, or unless safety car comes out, looks like Gamer's won this. Fairhand's in a really good place, and so is Lickle, but Lickle might get held slightly here by Gamer, because even when the gap is quite big, you still do get held. As oh, he's tapped the wall. Don't know if that'll be slight damage. Wing damage isn't too bad around here from what I've noticed. But Vasta Racer back here, has he got wing damage? He looks very understeery. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he has end plate damage. But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting shape up. I think Louis might be able to jump Vasta if he pits. Yeah, they're all pitting. It's looking like the crossover point, and they're all going. Somebody's went into mediums. Is that my game glitching, or is that right? Well, Gamers went into hards. Fairhands went into mediums. Lickles went. I don't think mediums is the right call, you know.
No, I
think hards is the right call.
Yeah. This track is pretty bad for tyre wear from what I remember. So this could be a big strategy mistake from Furhan and Vasta Racer. Those two are good friends. They're probably in a party together, and they've both fitted the medium tyres. But Louis, interestingly enough, locks up and he goes off the track. I was just about to say he's remained on the intermediate tyres, which was probably the wrong call for him to make. He's sitting in third, but he's going to be losing so much time to Littleblocks just behind him. You can see the gap already starting to come down loads. The difference in grip is monumental at this point, as the track's only going to get drier from here.
Yeah, and the track is just going to involve so much. I was surprised to see, going back to the tyre top, I was surprised to see Vasta going into mediums, because he knows his tyre wear is awful around here. He knows he struggles with it. So I'm very surprised to see that. Is that Forbes? I saw Forbes going slow in the app, along with the yellow flags. I don't know who that's for, but as I was saying, right, Nathan. It's Nathan. Sorry to keep jumping about. Nathan's got front left complete wing off, so he'll be pitting. But yeah, very surprised to see Vasta going into the mediums, because he knows his tyre is bad. But I think Gamer has this wrapped up, unless Fairhand can pull that 7-second gap in over these next 17ish laps.
It's going to be very interesting to see as we cross over onto lap number 10. We've got 17 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Still a lot can happen. We've got Gamer leading by a pretty big gap of 7.4 seconds. Louis Welch still not pitting. What is he doing? Is he on the intermediates for you?
Yeah, I don't know. What? Right, maybe, maybe there's rain scheduled to come in the next 5 minutes, I don't know. What is he doing? Very odd. Maybe, I don't know. As Fairhand hit the wall there, I don't know if he's got wing damage, but yeah, he does. That's very odd. I don't know what he's doing.
That's interesting strategy call from Louis there, but Little Blocks pulling in close to him very soon. He's got the Ferrari in his sights. He's going to be within DRS range very soon. As Louis goes slow there, he's struggling so much. He lets Little by there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for staying on, because I went on board with Gamer and it still doesn't look completely well. They're still sliding. But I would still pit. I mean, the intermediates are just going to be completely shot now. They're going to be overheating everything. But I'm really intrigued to see what these medium runners do as well. That'll probably get removed. But yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what these medium runners do, if they can take these then, because that's going to be a challenge.
Well, Gamer setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. You can see by that lap, the track is still not up to complete dry temperatures, because that's only, I mean, level of dry. I don't know what you measure it in, but still, it's not up to the optimal conditions for the dry tyres. It's still a lot slower than a car would be going normally.
Yeah, and Vaster on the better tyre and the softer tyre has went a second quicker. And oh, Lickle tapping the wall there, and then the outside wall at turn 2. I'm trying to get a TV cam here, but it's not giving me it. I think that has to be wing damage. That's not going to help. Vaster will be catching him a lot now. He gets close to the wall again. Why is it not giving me a good TV cam? There we go. I'm going to check. His left end plate is gone, and maybe a bit of his front right is gone, but we can't really tell. I thought that was Gamer for a moment, and my heart was like, yes, but sadly it's not. But yeah, Lickle getting damaged. We see a lot of people hit the wall. I don't think there's been... The only person I've not seen hit the wall is Gamer so far. So he's obviously showing that old experience of his.
Absolutely, he's really stepped up this season, and regardless of how he's been winning these races with Johan Vaster being absent, you can't take his wins away from him. As much as you'd want to, he's really dominating out here today, and Vaster is racing, so I'd say he's stepped up to the plate, as now the gap between Lickle and Vaster is within... Oh, there's now... Gil retired 8 runners left in his Grand Prix.
Retiring. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's very interesting to see why people are retiring when there is points up for grabs. I mean, it may not be a lot, but every point comes into play at the end. So I don't know why they're retiring. Maybe they've got something to do, but maybe boring. But at the end of the day, it's points, and you never know, a safety car can come out unexpectedly. But as you were saying, Gamer, you could argue he has been doing very well. I think it's coming up for his 3 wins in a row. Is it 3 wins?
Yeah,
I think it's 3 wins. Yeah. Hopefully I can come back next week and show him his boss. But it's quite painful to watch him win. But nevertheless, he has been driving very well, very consistent. He's never really been there in quality, but he's always got his smart cap on for the race.
Absolutely, as Rakim Mazina beginning to put in laps that are what you really should be setting, but still not up to the perfect conditions, as we have 8 runners left in this Grand Prix. We've almost got the amount that Canada had finishing, and we haven't even got through halfway through this race. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 5 runners left in this Grand Prix by the end of it, probably even less.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. And meanwhile, all that's going on, we've got CC Brain and Messina catching Forbes, who's on 6 lap old cars, which were driving in the wet, so they'll be even more worn. And we've got, that's Vaster Racer catching Lickle. So we do have a few battles, even though it's still down a little bit. But yeah, I will not be surprised if we finish with 5 as well.
Well, for the time being, we'll run along with Vaster Racer as Little Blocks runs really wide out of, is that turn 19 there? Just the
I
right,
think it's,
the left-hander before the straight.
and he hits the wall.
He's really become friends with the wall today. Is now Vasta Racer. This should be an easy move around the outside. Liquor Blocks is hardly gonna fight it with DRS open. It's an easy as you like overtaking. Liquor Blocks pulls into the pit lane. He's gonna fix whatever damage he's got. Probably go on to a set of mediums. Because do you think they could make it to the end from here?
Yeah, mediums should be able to make it for the end from here. It's fresh mediums, lighter fuel than you would usually use. I'm still holding tomorrow the word that the Vasta's mediums aren't going to make it, because in the PSL event when I was driving, at the end of the race I was catching him a second a lap just because his tyre wear was that bad. So unless he does some insane tyre management, or unless he's changed his setup, I'll be very shocked to see him taking these tyres to the end.
Currently running in third, he's 13 seconds back from second place Furhan Racer. That means 23 seconds behind Gamer. Whilst we were talking there, Rakim Azina managed to get past CC Brain for 6th position. Now he's onto the back of Caden Forbes right now. It's going to look to be an interesting battle for 5th place as Liquor Block pulled into the pits. They all moved up. I think I'm seeing spots of rain. If that's just my mind playing tricks on me there, or the rain is coming back into play. I think it's my mind playing tricks on me, isn't it?
Well, I'm looking. From what I see, I can, but I don't know. I don't think there is yet. It does still look very dull though. I'd be interested to be one of the drivers and being able to ask, but I don't know. I don't think it is yet, but I can see what you mean. The light, the reflections of the
the virtual safety car's out.
Where was that? If we go to Lickle, he's in the wall at that flat out left-hander coming up to the last sector. It's a shame that wasn't a safety car, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But either way, 7 runners now, so we're nearly at the 5. Not quite yet at 5, but we're at 7.
Well, this is less finishers than Canada, but of course Canada had a better turnout, as we'll go along with Rakim Azina, because he is within DRS range of Caden Forbes. I forgot it is virtual safety car, so we couldn't actually overtake him there, but Caden Forbes comes into the pit lane. It'll be interesting to see what tyres he fits on that Racing Point car. He's probably going to fix his wing, because he had a bit of end plate damage, and yet that is him fixing his front wing. What will actually happen with this race?
The race has got so I really wish that was a safety car. Massimo will not be happy with that. He's got that wee stupid glitch where he's went about a millisecond above it, where I got in China a few times. But that's a shame for Massimo. I mean, he's still going to get 7th at minimum, so can't complain too much. But yeah, Kane taking that opportunity to pit. There's not much going on. I don't know if there's any battles from what I can see, unless Gamer crashes, which I think would be probably the best turnout for us. So I think Gamer should crash personally, just to make it a bit exciting. What do you think? Do you think Gamer's going to keep this one?
I think he really will, to be honest. I'm sorry to say to you, but he knows that he's got acres of space between him and Gamer, and between him and Verhan. It says on my screen that Vasta is a lap down for some reason. I don't know why that was a thing there, but I think he had an incident, because he was so much slower through that lap. He was about 4 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of people are making mistakes. You know, it's hot in the UK, at least. I know it's always hot in Germany for Vasta, but for the UK drivers, you could say they could just be letting this heat affect them. It is very warm in my room, I have to say. So I'm not saying that is a good excuse for them, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't help that it's been quite a damp track and slick tyres as Messina serves his drive-through. And he's still going to come out just ahead of Caden, but Caden's on fresh tyres, fresh medium tyres compared to Rakim.
Well, hopefully those two can resume their battle from earlier, but even that, the gap is so much large. It's really large here. It's 7.4 seconds. You lose more time in a pit stop than you do in a drive-through, so that is to be expected. So Caden Forbes, at least he's pulled back up to Rakim Mazina, and he's got fresher tyres, but this race is really going to enter a dull period. We've had almost half of the entire grid retired. It's good to see Louis Welch coming from 13th up into 4th. There's a gamer setting the fastest lap of the race on pretty worn hards. He's actually the only driver on hards right now.
Yeah, I think he's still made that good call. Keep in mind though, if anything was to happen to Gamer and no Williams were to finish in the podium, that'd be another race where no Williams had been finishing the podium. I don't know if you saw on the HTA Twitter, but Williams as a team, there's been at least one car on the podium every single race, including last season, apart from China. So me and Gamer always say pumping in the stats.
It seems like dominance from the two CRG boys throughout the last couple seasons. I think this is season 3, if I'm not mistaken.
This is season 2.
Oh, season 2. I thought it was season 3 of HTA ELITES.
Yeah. So this is season 2, but HTA Assists is on season 3.
Oh, okay. I remember watching some old HTA races, I think when Jamie Morris was commentating.
Yeah,
if they were HTA.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to go back on, because I've won 2 titles in HTA Assists, and I've won 1 in Elite, so you could say 3 titles.
Oh. You've really cemented yourself.
I'm just picking myself up now. But hopefully we can make that 4. If Gamer would just like to plough it into the wall at Castle, or just not break for turn 1 and Fairhammer to win, and then Vassar to get a puncture, and that would make Lickle get a podium, so we'd still be cementing that Williams podium streak, but I don't think that's going to happen. It really makes me want to cry.
Of course, the real driver you have to worry about is Vassar, because if he wins this race, then he's ahead of you in the championship, and he's currently pumping in the fastest laps, and he's really closed up to Furhan Racer, but Furhan's really lost out to Gamer. I think we're reaching the crossover point where the mediums are beginning to lose pace to the hards, especially with how old they are, and Gamer's going to begin to pull away. They've definitely come up to temperature at this point. They're probably in their prime, the white wall tyres. He's going to be steaming away right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw Vassar set that fast lap, but it looked like he was saving up the ERS, and then he just went for it. I don't think we'll be able to see another fastest lap from him. However, I think as it stands, so Gamer would get the win, so that's 18, and Vassar would get 3rd if it was to finish like this. So that would be 6 points Gamer takes in, and I'm pretty sure the gap to him and Vassar would be roughly around about 6 to 11 points, and the gap to me and Gamer would be 12 at the moment. So I'm just saying, if this does go, if me and Vassar and Gamer all turn up for the last 2 rounds, 3 people could be in contention for the title.
It's going to be tough to... It's going to be really interesting to see, actually. I cannot wait for the next couple of races. Hopefully the turnout is better, and we've got 3 viewers in the stream right now. I'll read out the comments. Big C saying, you know this isn't the HTA channel. I do know. I couldn't get the login before the race, so I just decided to go on my own account. Salam Baku, I don't know what that means. Benzo Swanzo says, you gotta love Caden Lamau. Of course, we all love Caden, but he's just a bit of a big bottle job. And Cohen says, hard in wet track. He's retired, of course. He's down in 12th. DNF, unfortunate for him. He's not had the best of seasons, has he, Cohen?
Nah, Cohen's a really weird one. He's I don't know, he's never really had that shine out performance where he really proves himself, and I think it's really hampered him at the moment, because I always look at him and think he's doing really well, but he, as I said, he's never had that standout performance. He's never been in the podium yet, from what I know, and I'm still waiting for him to get that. He's improving massively. Obviously, he left LR a week or 2 ago, but this is really his time to prove himself. It's come to the end of the game, and before you know it, the new game will be out, and all eyes will be on him. So the pressure is ramping up for him. And Fairhan, just to change something, he's looking really slow. I don't know if it's... Does he have wing damage? I think he had front left. Yeah, he has front left. So Vaster's chasing him down. As you said, they're both friends. So I wonder if they'll fight it out, or Fairhan will just let him by.
Oh, that was... Did Vaster Racer almost spin there? He's lost a lot of time.
Yeah, that's his front right end plate gone.
Oh no. And Liquor Blocks is out of this race. In the castle section. Go on, give us a safety car. Come on, he's in such a... Come on, look at on Rocky Mazzino. Look at... What? How is that not a safety car? Come on. He's in the middle of the track.
I'm very shocked that's not a safety car.
That's disgusting from Codemasters.
Well, you know, it's a very weird game to not give that a safety car. It's a very easy mistake for Little to make, so I don't blame him. It's the tightest section in the whole F1 calendar. You can literally just fit one car in. But that's a shame that wasn't a safety car. We might have been able to see quite an exciting racer at the end, but Caden now sitting in 6th. We've got 6 drivers left. One more needs to crash. Hopefully it's Gamer and Vaster Racer, but we can't count on it.
Well, it's getting to the point where you might just have to finish to get on the podium, really. Drivers retiring left, right, and centre.
Finishes.
Come on, Caden. I don't think he's had the best of seasons as Caden. He's not really had any good performances, but he's been good in other leagues, which is something, but he's just not had the luck or the talent in HTA Elites. I'm joking there, he's got bags of talents in him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll find an excuse to say why he hasn't done well. Meanwhile, this wing damage Fairhan and Vaster have, this is just going to make tyre wear worse. I keep saying it, and I'm not going to stop saying it until the race finishes. I do not see Vaster making it to the end of those tyres. Maybe Louis will, because his are only 8 laps, but he's got to go and do at least 16 laps on them. That's quite a lot of laps for quite a soft tyre.
Well, here comes Vaster Racer. Fairhan making it easy for him, letting him take the inside line. The faster car, faster driver at this moment in time. He moves up into 2nd place. Both these drivers have wins. Well, Fairhan has 1 win this season. We've not had many individual winners so far, have we?
No, I mean, the first season HTA we had, it was me, Gamer, and S2V Liam Parker. They were the only drivers to win a race. This season is a lot more. I think it's Kilsray, MNT Kilsray, Vaster, Gamer, myself, Fairhan, and I think that's it. I don't think there's any more. So that's 5 or 6 maybe?
Yeah, I think you are right.
So it's not exactly been completely spread out like some leagues, but it's a decent amount. But the more Gamers won now 3, I think it is. I won 5, and I think Vaster's roughly around the 2 area, 2 3 maybe as well.
Yeah.
So it's been mainly dominated by a few drivers, but Fairhan and M&T Kilsray, and I think Kilsray's in the McLaren as well.
Yeah.
Have both came out and done a good job. But yeah, Fairhan, he's a good driver, but he still needs to just nail that consistency. We saw him win at China, which you could say is a more favoured towards the pad, but that's not taking anything away from him. He done really well, and Gamer bottled China by spinning under the safety car.
Yeah, I was just about to say the win at China was pretty circumstantial, considering you got a drive-through penalty for doing nothing pretty much, and that was complete rubbish there. But it was really unfortunate for you, and Fairhan managed to pick up the pieces and take the win. I don't actually remember the rest of the podium. It was probably Kiski and Rakim Azina, I think. That's probably wrong though.
I think it was something like that. I can remember Messina was on it. I can't remember about Kiski. But you know the race is born when we're talking about China.
That was so long ago, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, this Baku race really hasn't delivered the expectations. Please be a safe car.
Is that?
Where is that?
Who was that?
No.
That might have been a glitch showing up.
Yeah, well, you know, it's Codemasters, so I would not be surprised. Let's see Vasta go through the castle section. Will he crash? No.
What about Furhan? No.
I always look at the cars going through there and just, some I don't beg, like Louis I won't beg to crash, Caden I don't beg to crash, but as soon as Gamer goes through there, I'm praying.
Well, right now your two championship rivals, 1 and 2 in this race. It's probably the worst outcome for you, but it's not over yet, and you still hold that Vasta won't make it to the end. We're gonna be watching him, and we'll watch that Delta specifically, because Gamer's almost a pit stop ahead. I don't think he is the fastest lap right now. I think that might belong to Vasta or Rakim Azina, or one of those two. So
yeah, it belongs to Vasta.
Alright, well, what could be an option for Gamer is he gets a very strong gap to Vasta and Furhan behind, and then he pits and goes for the fastest lap, just to rub salt into your wounds, really putting himself in the championship hunt.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at Vasta's lap times. For some reason there's a dent in the sector times. It says he hasn't set a sector 3 and the lap time in lap 13, which is really odd, but if we look at his lap times, it's been fairly consistent. He's went more to the high 42s. He was in the low 42s to high 41s for a bit, and then that lap he got wind damage, he went 43.4, and now it just went high 42s, and I think it's going to go back into the 43s near the end. I'm going to keep an eye on that though and see if he drops off anymore. It doesn't look like he's dropping off on board, but you never know. He's still pulling in Gamer, but Gamer could just be taking it easy. It's not like he needs to take risks as Caden pits for the softs to go for that fastest lap.
It's worth it really for Caden to come into the pits now, because he's not really in a fight for anything at the moment. He and Rakim Azina are 30 seconds, they were. Now Caden is 40 seconds back from Louis. He's almost a lap down on CRG Gamer, so really this has evolved into a pretty boring race. I won't lie, I won't sugarcoat it. Yeah, this is a great race. No, it's pretty boring to watch. That's why we're talking about so much other stuff other than the race. And I actually just want to mention that missing Delta sector time from Vasta was probably because of a VSC, because that can happen. Because once again, Codemasters doing Codemasters things.
Oh, yeah, but I was going to say something that just popped out my head. It seemed to be the races most people thought were going to be boring, like Italy. People thought it's just going to be a slipstream train. China, you would think, would have been a boring race. They were all probably one of the most exciting races. I can't remember from at least a driving standpoint where I had a boring race that did throw up something special. And where we come to a track that is commonly one of the most exciting tracks and causes the most drama, you could say, between drivers, it's really odd to have such a casual race.
Yeah, we've had so many exciting races in HTA. You know, we've had I'm trying to think, Belgium was pretty good, and I remember that last weekend was also a very entertaining race. I'm trying to think of my favourite race this season. I guess probably the end of Italy was very fun, but I didn't really get to commentate at the end of that there. I really wish I could, but it's okay, because I'm getting to commentate with a true GOAT right now, a GOAT in the community.
Oh, you're bigging my ego up.
Well, I can knock it right back down, because let's just mention Fast Banana.
Oh no. Shush.
I was watching that the other day and I just found it so funny. Obviously at the time it wasn't funny for you, because you know he'd just taken a massive dump on your league, but it's in the past now. Back when you were Spark 666.
Yeah, well, you know what I found? I remember I changed my name to Sparks with the X's and then, and it was because I couldn't get Sparks in its own, right?
Yeah.
So everybody now starts calling me Sparks with X's, and I'm like, just call me, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's hard to get the point across. Gamer looks to be driving very slow from that point. Maybe it's just me. Gamer obviously isn't the quickest driver. For me, he's absolutely awful. But that's just Gamer. He's obviously not a pro like me. Faster Racer, that gap, I've not really been paying attention, but from what I've seen now, it's staying the same as Forbes sets the fast lap. I think Messina might take that away.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be honest, because he's on a flyer than now.
Well, the race for the fastest lap truly coming out. We're going to almost treat it like a qualifying as an extra point for Caden right now. That'll help him in his fight for wherever he's pushing for. And we've got 2 laps remaining, so we might as well chime into commentary a little bit more. I won't stroke your ego anymore. We'll try and turn our attention to something. I guess we could look at Rakim Azina, who's on a lap right now. He's had a pretty good season right now, hasn't he?
Yeah, Rakim Azina, he's been a standout as he gets so close to that wall. Oh my gosh. He has been quite a standout. I remember racing him in AOR F2 last season in AOR, and he has got the pace. I just don't think he doesn't treat it as seriously as some people. But he's definitely got the, what's the word? Potential. That's it. He's definitely got the potential to get a race win. I think he's only had 2 podiums maybe this season, but it would be nice to see him get a podium. There's obviously still 2 races left. Most likely Sparks will win them if he turns up, but you know, there's still the other 2 spots.
Well, he's soon to cross the line. He's using up all the ERS he can. He looks to be on for a fastest lap right now, and he's going to take it away from Caden. There it is with a 1:39.1. But can Caden beat that? It looks like he's saving ERS. He's treating it like he's he's on for a qualifying lap. He's going to probably put in a lap on the last lap of the Grand Prix just to snatch it right under the nose of Mazina, as I think Gamer is about to start his final lap of the Grand Prix. He's drove very, very well today. He's led it from lights to flag ever since he got past Joost, who retired pretty early on, which is very strange to see actually. He was on for a good result, Joost, but I don't know why he did retire, but can't change the past. And I actually think Furhan might have a puncture.
Does he?
He might do so, because look at how close Louis got to him. I don't know.
He's
okay.
Definitely got. I know he has wing damage, so that will be helping me.
Well, we could see. It's probably not a puncture, to be honest, but you can see how slow he is right now. He's definitely not got a puncture. I was going to mention that with Vasta Racer.
Vasta Racer's just dropped like more than a second off Gamer, and even more. Look how slow. Vasta's got a puncture.
He has got a puncture.
Yes! I mean, oh no! Vasta's got a puncture.
Oh my word! So that's definitely that's gonna be Louis getting past both of them, as they're gonna be so slow. Locking up is Furhan Racer, and the race has really come alive right now. But still, Furhan Racer leads ahead of Louis. I think he might get a puncture any second. Vasta's gonna pull off to the right hand side. He's almost blocking his friend right there, Furhan, as they go side by side here. And what has happened there? Vasta Racer's really dropped the ball on that one. The strategy was not for him. Furhan Racer could be out at any moment.
Yeah, this is very close. Messina might just get him if Vasta Racer's extremely slow, but if we pay our attention away from that, we're going to go to Gamer here. He's led from start to finish, as you said earlier. He's dominated this race. He's picked a hard tyre after a first tricky few laps. His qualifying wasn't amazing, but it looks like after his title rival Sparks and Vasta Racer are having a tricky race, he's going to come across the line, he's going to take it in fashion. What's he going to do? He's going to reverse across the line to take 3 wins in a row. Brilliant job from Gamer. Louis looks like he's going to take a second, 27 seconds back. Furhan close. I wonder if Furhan might be able to get him here. We're going to see, he's going to be close. I think it's going to be Louis, unless penalties take it, but on track it's going to be Louis takes ahead of him. Messina looks too far back to get Vasta Racer, unless Vasta Racer spins. And there's another. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's Louis or Vasta Racer even. But what a race, in some ways.
Well, it all came out of nowhere. You called it though. You definitely called it that Vasta wouldn't make it to the end on those tyres, and he lumps home for 4th place. Rakim Azina might be kicking himself for pitting there, because he could have been ahead of Vasta Racer from what I remember at least. Well, I have no clue,
if he
to be
didn't
honest.
pit, it would be, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a shame to see Kane coming home in 6th, nearly a minute and a half. Oh, he is a minute and a half behind the leader. So not Kane's standout races. He's got 6th though, which I guess you could say is good as Messina does a reverse. I wonder, imagine if Messina were to crash now.
Oh, that would have been funny.
That would have been funny. But before I butt you in there, that was all kind of left to the last minute, that race. I
Kane's
said
gonna do it as well.
Get a puncture. Is he gonna do it as well? They're all showing off. Caden, I think it's the most screen time he's got in the whole of HT in this short clip. He comes across the line, and
Good
wow,
job.
what a race! For all left to the last lap.
6 finishers in this Grand Prix. Caden with the wooden spoon at the end of it, he finishes in last. But we watch the podium celebration. It is a British 1-2. I think Brendan Lee's on the podium. Yes, he is. He's in 2nd place. CRG Gamer wins the Grand Prix, and that's 3 on the bounce for the Englishman. He is now fighting truly for the championship, as I will get him in for celebration, well, for the interviews.
Thingy it. Sure. So we didn't get quite close to the 5, but it was.
Just as I invite all the drivers, if you'd like to read out the full results. So it's not many really. And Farhan.
Farhan. I don't think Farhan will
both.
join. I know Gamer will join.
We might as well start right now. It's your debut race, Lewin. You've taken P2. Did you have any doubts that Vasta Racer on his strategy? Did you doubt that he was going to get the puncture in the end?
I thought it'd be a bit sketchy because I was on like 70% and I pit like lap 11 and they pit like lap say 8 or 9. So I thought it'd be a bit weird or close to the end, and Farhan was going very cautious, so that might have been why he was a bit slow at the race. So it seemed to work for him. He still got a podium. So
absolutely. And do you think you're gonna come back once again next week and do another race? I don't remember where it is though.
I mean, I might ask someone to take my PS4 off me again and then give it back to me during quali. It seemed to work this time. Maybe it'll work next week.
Well, Wilson, if you have any questions, shoot.
Right, Lou, so when you joined, I'm keen to know this, but when you joined, when you saw the rain, were you a bit relieved, to say the least?
Yeah, but my front wing says otherwise. I had to pit early on. I got like yellow and orange, or yellow and red damage at turn 1. I broke so early, I just went flying off into the wall. So that probably cost me maybe a shot on the win, but Gamer seemed to have it pretty covered.
Yeah, well, Gamer is obviously very dominant throughout that race. I've got no more questions as I'm quite not very creative with these questions. I don't know if is Gamer joined the party? No. No, oh, well he is. There he goes. I cannot wait to ask you some questions, but Daniel, you can start it.
Well, we'll actually move on to Farhan because he's joined the party as well. Hello there.
Okay.
Well, we'll save the winner for the last. All right. So Farhan,
save the worst for last.
Farhan, did you think you were going to get the puncture in the end?
What?
Were you relieved to get the puncture in the to not get the puncture in the end?
No.
Huh. Right, interesting there. Who convinced you and out of you and Vasta, who convinced the other to go on to the medium tires?
Foster said to me, yeah, go to the mediums. It's good. Try out to the end, and I was thinking, okay, nice. And Foster the puncture.
That's brilliant. Oh, sorry.
That was so unfortunate for him. Wilson, if you have any questions.
Well, Fairhan, I have to say, I'm so thankful you didn't tell him to go into the hards, because that was just beautiful seeing him get a puncture at the end. Where were you before Vaster got the puncture? Were you third?
Yeah. I was so slow because I had, I think, red front wing.
Oh my god.
So
There were 6 people in the race and you didn't know where he was.
you know what, gamer? Shut up. You're still like third. Are you third in the stand still? Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shush, peasant. Right. Sorry
Okay.
about that, but I have no questions for Fairhan. But very well done on your position, Fairhan, and I hope to race you next.
Just like to add, I did predict you get the win, so so you've let me down there, Farhan. But we'll move on to the race winner, CRG Gamer. That's 3 in a row. Can you continue this momentum when Sparks eventually returns?
Yeah. Because Forbes is going to do the work for the, I don't know what I'm going with this, but hopefully he doesn't get his wheel back for the next race, and hopefully Vasta gets the puncture again, and then we're sorted.
Alright, well, I'm not too sure of the points gap, but you are very close
I'm like,
to the championship lead, and
wait,
He's
wait,
12.
wait.
He's 12.
Yeah, I'm
That's
12.
12
that's
points
within
behind.
one win. All right,
Yeah.
so you pipe down. If you don't get your wheel back, you're gonna lose the
Just in that
championship.
podium.
Right. Well, I really want to think of a question. So,
Go on.
gamer.
Hi.
Right. Why did you go into the hards then?
Because I didn't know what would get to the end, so I was like, oh, I'll just put the hards on, they'll go the whole race. So, well, obviously it was the right call, because Vasta got a puncture.
Yeah, it's a shame you didn't. I was watching you through the whole race, hoping you'd hit the wall. I've also got that question: why didn't you hit the wall at Castle?
Oh my god.
I did nearly a few times,
Yeah,
but yeah, just didn't fancy it, to be honest.
that's a shame. Right. Well, you know what? No one cares. You're awful. Can't wait to come back.
Right.
That was the most grueling race to watch in my
in the
life.
first stint.
That was the most awful race to watch in my life. Daniel, you can do whatever you want.
Very
for it.
enthusiastic commentator.
Shush.
Well, we'll let them squabble on, but I do apologise. It wasn't the most exciting race in history, but
I
hope
thought
you
it
did
was.
enjoy.
Come on.
Hope you did enjoy what was there. But we will be back. I don't actually remember what track it is next week, but we will see you soon. Well, it's probably Japan. Have a good evening.